event on YouTube. So we're just getting that YouTube live stream set up really quickly. And as we do that, feel free to introduce yourself in the chat, greet your fellow attendees. If you already have a question, put your question in there. All right, and we're officially live on YouTube. So I'm going to put the YouTube live stream link in the chat just so you all have access to it, and it can be a resource for you. We're so excited that you're here. This is part of the All of Us California Citizen Science Month series. I'm going to share my screen and give a brief intro before I hand it off to our panelists. So it is indeed Citizen Science Month, and this is our penultimate All of Us California Citizen Science Month event. And it's been such a blast. We've been working with different sites throughout the great state of California, talking about citizen science, the All of Us research program, and exciting ways that anybody and everybody can be meaningfully involved in scientific research. I wanted to thank the network of the National Library of Medicine and the All of Us research program for making this event series possible. And I also wanted to introduce myself. I'm Caroline from the SciStarter team. SciStarter is a global resource connecting you to real science that you can do. But before we get into all that, we have some icebreakers as folks kind of stream into this webinar. If you're watching on YouTube, feel free to put your answers to these questions in the comments. So our first question is, have you ever participated in a citizen science project before? And if you don't even know what citizen science is, that's totally okay. We're going to tell you everything you need to know during this event. All right, so we're just giving you a little bit of time to vote, get your answers in, answer honestly. Seeing some exciting answers come in here, so. And honestly, I always love it when people haven't heard of it before, because it's a really great, it's never too late to get started. And we have some really great projects lined up for you to jump right in to real scientific research that anybody can do. All right, so I'm going to give you all about 3 more seconds to vote. 3, 2, 1, and get in the poll. I'll share my results. So it looks like 84% of you have not participated in a citizen science project before. About 10% of you have, and 6% of you are unsure. That is totally okay. Our next question is, have you heard of the All of Us research program before? Say yes if you've heard of it, say no if you haven't. If you're unsure if you've heard of it or not, put unsure. All answers are great. If you've heard of it, you'll learn something new today, and we actually have ample time at the end for Q&A, so you could ask any questions that you might have on your mind about the All of Us research program. If you're not sure about having heard of it, totally okay too. We will educate you today, and you'll learn everything you need to know to get started. So I'm going to give you all some time to vote on that. And remember, if you're watching on YouTube, feel free to put your answers to those questions in the comments. All right, so we're giving you some time to vote. Get those votes in. All right, 3, 2, 1. I'm about to end the poll and end poll. And we'll share those results. So it looks like 76% of you have heard of the All of Us research program before, which is super interesting. So it shows that I think folks are hungry to learn more. We have 24% of you that haven't, which is also great. Hopefully this event is educational for you. I think both audiences have something to learn from this. All right, so our next question is, are you associated with UCI? So if you're an alum, a student, a faculty member, a staff member, if you just have some sort of association with the institution, answer yes. And if you don't, totally okay as well. If you're just a citizen scientist or a curious person, you're in the right place to learn something new about scientific research and how you can be involved. All are welcome. We're just curious about the audiences that we're reaching. And we just wanted to learn a little bit more about you before we started our discussion today. So I'll give you all a few more seconds to vote. All right, I'm gonna close it up in 3, 2, 1, and I'm gonna end the poll. I'll share those results. So it looks like about 66% of you are associated with UCI, which is great to know. About 34% of you aren't. Awesome. All right, now we have one more poll. We want to know what categories you identify with. So are you, and you can select as many as you want or as few as you want. So we just want to know, are you an aspiring citizen scientist, a parent of an aspiring citizen scientist, a teacher, an educator, a troop leader, etc.? Are you a librarian or part of a library staff? Are you a researcher or a practitioner? Are you just a bored person on the internet, or are you none of these? Please select all that apply to you. And I'll give you all a few seconds to vote. All right, get those votes in. See, about half of the folks here have voted. All right, I'm gonna close this up pretty soon, so vote if you want to vote. And if you're none of these, that's totally okay too. By the end of the event, hopefully you will be a citizen scientist. All right, we're gonna close things up in about 3, 2, 1, and I ended the poll. So it looks like the majority of you are researchers or practitioners, about 46%. We got quite a few aspiring citizen scientists on the line at 24%. We got some parents here. 11% of you are educators. We have one librarian here. Hello, welcome, glad to have you. We have 2 bored people on the internet, so 5% of folks are bored people on the internet, and about 30% of you identify with none of these categories, which is totally okay as well. All right, so let's get to it. So I'm going to briefly talk about 2 featured citizen science projects that we've been highlighting as part of Citizen Science Month. And then I'll be passing the mic to Linda and Aaron from the All of Us Research Program in All of Us, California, who are going to talk about this exciting precision medicine initiative. And we're leaving ample time at the end on purpose for Q&A. So get those gears turning. If you have questions, we are eager for you to ask those in the chat or through the Q&A function, or if you're watching on YouTube, through the YouTube comments. So to kind of start off, I always like to begin with this. Millions of people enjoy science and nature. And you may not realize it, but you're probably in that group. If you like going outside and looking for birds and butterflies, if you've ever looked up at the night sky and tried to find a constellation, if you're really curious about how the brain works and you wish you understood it better, then you are in good company. There are millions of people just like you. And the good news is thousands of scientists need volunteers. There are questions that wouldn't be answered without your help. One thing we always say at SciStarter is scientists don't have enough eyes, ears, or perspectives to know everything there is to know, to answer every question that needs to be answered. That's why we're able to leverage the power of the crowd, because of curious, concerned, and motivated people just like you who are willing to volunteer their time. We're able to answer questions that matter to us with citizen science. And citizen science is as diverse as science itself. It's everything from astronomy to biodiversity to health to zoology and everything in between. If there's a science for something, there's a way for you to be meaningfully involved as a citizen scientist. And most often when you're participating in citizen science, you're collecting or analyzing data for an ongoing research project. You're ultimately, you participate in citizen science whenever you help move science forward in a meaningful way. And anybody can be a citizen scientist, no matter their background, no matter where they are in the world, no matter how old they are. There's a project out there for you that matches your interests and will allow you to make a difference. But sometimes they can't find each other. So passionate people like you can't find the researchers who need your help. That's where SciStarter comes in. We connect you to the real science that you can do. And for those of you who answered that you were researchers, I know we have quite a few researchers on the line. You can add your projects, events, and tools to SciStarter for folks to discover them and get started and turn their curiosity about the world into real impact. So one reason we're here is it's Citizen Science Month right now. So if you go to citizensciencemonth.org, you'll find the different featured projects, including the 2 we're about to discuss today, and more information about the All of Us Research Program, but we'll also give you some direct links to get in touch with the All of Us California folks. And you'll also find different events that people from all around the world have added online, outdoors, just ways for people to celebrate citizen science. That being said, citizen science does not just happen in April. It is all year round, and SciStarter is always a resource for you to access that. So ultimately, what is citizen science? We like to think of it as a collaboration. It's a collaboration between researchers and those of us who are curious, concerned, and motivated to make a difference. And as we said, it's anything that you do to move science forward. And for those of you who are researchers on the line, or maybe professional scientists, you can do citizen science with things that aren't necessarily your discipline. One of my very good friends is an analytical chemist, but she does citizen science pretty much every day for biodiversity projects. She's using her smartphone to document the plants and animals around her in her community to help researchers understand where certain species might be prevalent and where they might need some help. Where certain species might be threatened, for example, if they're not appearing there. That has absolutely nothing to do with analytical chemistry, but she's able to be involved in those projects as a citizen scientist. So don't automatically rule citizen science out if you are a scientist yourself. And all sorts of different people organize citizen science projects. One project that came into the SciStarter project finder recently, so I mentioned that people add their projects to SciStarter when they're seeking volunteers, and people make SciStarter accounts when they're seeking ways to get involved. A project that just came through was really cool. A citizen scientist in Hawaii designed her own project where she's studying the soil composition that is most conducive to growing their local variety of milkweed. And the reason why she's doing that is she wants to understand how she can help monarch butterflies and foster a habitat for them. And she wants to know definitively the research result for what soil is best for cultivating milkweed. So she designed a really impressive protocol. She did her literature review. She went through all the scientific steps. And now she's doing data collection with volunteers who are out there testing different types of soil and then sending the data to her. And then she'll have a research result after that. And, she's doing this as a citizen scientist herself. So citizen science projects are so diverse, and there are so many great ones to discover. And I also have this short video. I'm going to make sure I shared my sound. I always forget that part. This short video for you about what SciStarter is. So I'm going to briefly play it for you. I think it sums it all up really well and explains how to use the website.
Citizen science can change the world. These programs mobilize people from all walks of life to contribute to scientific research, from teachers to artists, Girl Scouts to business professionals, students to retirees. Citizen science taps into the power of the people, where they are. Scientific data gathered by individuals and communities gives concerned or curious people, decision makers, and scientists access to more information than they could possibly gather on their own. Your contributions lead to breakthrough research, new approaches, and expedited scientific discoveries. So how can you start to make a difference? SciStarter makes it easy to find the perfect project for you. With a database of more than 3,000 citizen science projects to choose from, you can search by topic, location, age level, and more. Anything that sparks your curiosity is a mere click away. SciStarter can help you take valuable actions to contribute to the projects you're most passionate about. Their tools database provides you with exactly what you need to get started. And with events held across the nation throughout the year, SciStarter brings fun citizen science opportunities directly to you. Visit the SciStarter website to begin exploring the possibilities of scientific participation and create a personal account to receive project suggestions tailored especially for you. Together with SciStarter, we can all play a part in scientific research that can change the world for the better.
So there you have it. There are over 3,000 projects, events, and tools that you can discover on SciStarter. And I really urge you to make an account and get started. But I also fully recognize that that can be a little overwhelming, which is why I'm so grateful to All of Us California for partnering with us on this series to showcase for you some selected options for you to get started with and kind of step you into the process of citizen science. So today we're going to be reviewing some featured projects that you can discover on scistarter.org/NLM. This is the network of the National Library of Medicine's SciStarter page. And the projects on this page were handpicked by them because they addressed interesting questions about health research and the environment. And we encourage you to participate, to collect that data, to analyze that data. And also available on this page is further reading and more info about the All of Us research program, which you'll hear about later in today's webinar. But I give you full permission at this point. If you want to minimize me, go to this webpage and make your SciStarter account, because it'll help you with these 2 featured projects for today. So the first featured project is called Flu Near You. And I love this project. You can find it on scistarter.org/NLM because they have the best tagline I think any citizen science project has ever had. It's spread the word, not the flu. And the slides I'm about to show you, they were created by a member of that research team, Autumn Gertz. I adapted them a little bit and took them out of a presentation that she had done with me previously. But this team, they're always innovating. They're always doing really cool stuff. So I would urge you to join their project. They're very good about corresponding with updates and new research findings. And we also message everyone who's joined their project on the SciStarter side periodically. So the team behind Flu Near You, they actually run 3 different projects. They run Flu Near You, Outbreaks Near Me, and the Respiratory Health Study. The first 2, Flu Near You and Outbreaks Near Me, you can participate on pretty much any device, Apple, Android, just the internet. The Respiratory Health Study is just for Android, so that's something to keep in mind. And they're all looking at different research questions. Flu Near You has been around for the longest. This project's been around since, I believe, 2013. Outbreaks Near Me, they launched it in March 2020, and we all know what happened in March 2020. So they launched it for a very specific reason, to support surveillance measures of COVID-19. And the Respiratory Health Study, that's the newest one. They're looking at all sorts of respiratory illnesses, and that's in partnership with Google. We actually did an event with them on Wednesday. If you're interested in learning more about it, it's available on SciStarter's Facebook page. But for all 3 of these studies, they're run by researchers at Boston Children's Hospital and Harvard Medical School. And all of them are basically founded on the premise that we can get real-time data and we can help predict the next outbreak of contagious things like the flu or COVID-19 or other respiratory diseases if people like you opt in to reporting their symptoms every week with a short survey. So whether you're healthy or you're sick, if you just fill out a short survey on a weekly basis, that can help epidemiologists understand where the next outbreak is going to happen. So for Flu Near You, in the 2019-2020 flu season, they had 20,545 registered users. And those folks contributed data. They filled out that survey almost 500,000 times. And this is useful, for the epidemiologists, of course, so they can understand and look for patterns in that data. But it's also useful for you because you can look at the map and you can see if there are people who aren't feeling well in your area. And I do Flu Near You all the time. The survey is super simple. It's truly just basically one question. They ask if you're feeling healthy or sick. If you're feeling healthy, you just click healthy. If you're feeling sick, they ask a few follow-up questions. Super simple. It's not invasive. And they do take privacy seriously. They have those protections built in. One cool thing about Flu Near You is it's actually a SciStarter affiliate. So for those of you, I know we have a few UCI students on the line, for example. If you're looking to get service time for doing different citizen science projects, if you make your Flu Near You account with the same email address you use to make your SciStarter account, you'll be able to track the number and frequency of your contributions to Flu Near You and your SciStarter dashboard. And you can use that as evidence of having volunteered to, move science forward as a citizen scientist. So that's just a pro tip for folks who might want the bragging rights of having contributed to the Flu Near You project. And then Outbreaks Near Me is a similar project. It did launch in March 2020. And it was originally called COVID Near You, but they changed it to Outbreaks Near Me because they wanted to make it a little bit more broad. And it's honed in on North America. Both of these projects, they're not global. They're more for the United States and neighboring countries, so Canada and Mexico. But both of them operate on the premise that these short surveys will give insight into the hyperlocal as well as larger patterns of outbreaks that might be occurring of certain diseases. So if you want to participate, sign up at scistarter.org/NLM and click on that flu near you icon. Outbreaks Near Me is also listed on SciStarter as well, as is the respiratory health study. You can report your symptoms weekly or as often as desired. You can do it every day if you want. You could just do it once, and that's still really helpful data for the researchers. If you'd like, if you're really wanting to be of service and wanting to help, you can sign up for email reminders to make sure you never miss a week. I feel really great about doing this project because I like being able to contribute data to help researchers understand what's going on the ground. The fact that it's almost near real-time data. And these are some of the research outcomes that the Flu Near You team has found. So they've published papers. So in addition to having that map that you can look at periodically to see what's going on in your community, you're also contributing to serious science that appears in places like the Journal of Infectious Diseases. So if you're interested, this paper was highlighted in the last presentation we did with the Flu Near You folks. It's healthcare seeking behavior for respiratory illnesses among Flu Near You participants in the United States. So that they shed some light on what was occurring during those particular influenza seasons. So full disclosure, I myself am a citizen scientist, right? I'm not a researcher. I wouldn't necessarily know what to make about that paper, but I still feel great about contributing to the project because they've made the protocol simple enough that I'm able to know exactly what I need to do to contribute data to this project. And by doing that, I'm still able to help make my community more informed and potentially safer because of this more complete information. So that's a very cool project, and I encourage you to get started at scistarter.org/NLM. If you're looking for one project to get started with, Flu Near You is a great one. And there are also other projects like Outbreaks Near Me and the Respiratory Health Study that are great fits as well. All right, so next up, I'm just going to briefly touch on another really cool project on scistarter.org/NLM. This is the Noriko Project, and these slides were provided by that research team as well. I am so grateful for the research teams I get to work with these SciStarter affiliate projects. And as a quick note on the affiliate program, how it works, there are over 3,000 projects, events, and tools listed on SciStarter, but only about 100 have gone the extra mile to become SciStarter affiliates and allow you to track the number and frequency of your contributions in your SciStarter dashboard. So that's just something to note. Those projects have made extra videos for you. They communicate with volunteers. They've committed to that, to be good communicators. And they're just really awesome. So the SciStarter affiliate projects are great ones to get started with, and scistarter.org/NLM is a good place to look. The Noriko Project is looking at mental health and dementia. This project is out of Trinity College in Dublin. And the reason why I think this project is cool is if you like playing games on your phone, then this is a fun one. Because just by playing these games, different little memory tasks, the Cannon Blasters Challenge, by filling out little surveys in a fun gamified environment, they've designed it so you often learn something new about mental health and dementia, but you're also helping them test certain things and certain research questions about memory over time. And about how your own brain functions. They also have a very serious privacy statement about how they won't. And this project is GDPR compliant. Those are certain data protections, especially because this project is based out of Europe. And you'll see that privacy statement when you download the app for the first time. And you can find the links to download the app on scistarter.org/NLM. So I always like looking at the why of these projects. I won't spend too much time on this because I want to give Erin a chance to present for UCI. And I know we have a lot to learn about with all of us, our next spotlighted initiative. But the Noriko Project, I think it's really interesting that they're looking at brain health. And they basically what they want to do is they want big data, which they're collecting through the Noriko Project, to make personalized predictions. And they're leveraging they're building on what they already know from other researchers. They're looking specifically at things like risk factors that can make us more vulnerable to certain mental health and dementia conditions. So, education level, hearing loss, certain behaviors like smoking. Those are all risk factors that you'll find in the Risk Factors Challenge on the Noriko app. And one thing that this team is really intentional about is they try to build some learning in. So there are a bunch of different games housed in the app. And some of the games, you'll be reading about certain types of research, and they've embedded learning outcomes in there for you. So you're hopefully also getting something out of it while you're also contributing your data. You're learning something new as you play. So they're gamifying research. And you don't get anything. They're not going to respond to you and say you have X, Y, and Z mental health issue, or you're this much prone to dementia. That's not the purpose of the study. You're doing this because you want to help in general in the aggregate with the understanding of these issues and how people's brains work. And so it's not on the individual level like that. So that's another thing I like to make clear about Noriko. So basically how it works is you download, you play, and you hopefully learn something new. And I wanted to give some info about the Noriko community so far. So they're in 94 different countries, including the US, where we are, which is great. I know we also might have some international folks on the line. And they do ask some questions about family history. So that's one thing you'll find in the challenges as well. So these are 3 of the challenges. There's the Memory Match Challenge, the Cannon Blast Decision Making Challenge, and the Star Racer Mental Flexibility Challenge. And you get certain scores because it is gamified, but it's not meant to be taken personally. It doesn't necessarily reflect on, your mental health or anything like that, or how you're doing in terms of memory. And the research questions are really embedded in the game in different and surprising ways. And so basically, all you need to do is get started is go to scistarter.org/NLM, download the app. It's available on Apple and on Android, and play the games. All the games are different. We don't have time to go into every single little game here. I wish we did, but I encourage you to play yourself and maybe get back in touch with SciStarter and let us know what you think about it. This is a SciStarter affiliate that I've been exploring a little bit more recently. And the questions that you're answering by playing these games is you're hopefully helping them develop technology to pursue the prediction of dementia, to predict what risk factors or other traits might lead to dementia, and to predict changes in symptoms. So you're helping them answer questions about mental health and about memory. And they're adding more challenges each year. So don't be afraid to get started. You're in good company. There are thousands of other folks from all around the world who are also playing games to accelerate mental health and dementia research. So that's where you go. scistarter.org/NLM is your place to get started. And with that, we have a survey. I'm going to put this link in the chat at the end for the survey. But I really just wanted to thank the All of Us California team. I have loved celebrating Citizen Science Month with you all. I know this is our penultimate event. We have one more event on Friday with UCSF. But now we're going to pass the mic to Erin from the UCI team, and she's going to talk to us about the All of Us research program. I know we'll also have time for questions at the end, so don't be shy about getting your questions in the comments area or in the YouTube comments on Zoom or on YouTube. So Erin, take it away.
All right, thank you, Caroline. Those are great projects. Thanks for highlighting that. So again, my name is Erin Saltmarsh, and I'm an Assistant Clinical Research Coordinator with the All of Us Research Program. So I'm based out of UC Irvine, and I have been with the UC Irvine team for about a year and a half. So in the next few slides, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about how the All of Us Research Program got started, what kind of information we're looking at, how researchers can access the database, and then I'm happy to answer any questions you all might have. Okay, so the All of Us Research Program is a National Institutes of Health program, and so it is part of the broader Precision Medicine Initiative, which is a collaboration of multiple different agencies and private stakeholders across the US. So the All of Us Research Program was launched in 2017, and the goal was to really advance precision medicine research. And we are doing this by asking 1 million or more people living in the US to join the effort. And the effort is to build one of the most diverse databases of health information ever created. So when we talk about precision medicine, we really are referring to this new approach to improving health and treating disease. And it takes into account what makes us all unique. So that's our lifestyle, our environment, and our biology. So eligibility for our program is very simple. All adults over the age of 18 living anywhere in the US can join. We also have staff to assist with enrollment for Spanish speakers. So the participation in the program really consists of these 6 steps you see here. The first 5 steps can be completed safely at home. So you can do that by going to joinallofus.org, and you can get started on step 1, which is creating an account. So you'll see our website listed in other slides. So if you don't see it here, that's okay, you'll get it. So once you create an account, the second step is to give your consent to be a member of the research program. And then step 3 is to consent to share your health history through the electronic health record. Step 4 is to let all of us know if you would like your DNA results returned to you. So participants do need to donate a blood sample in order to get their DNA results. And it's important, and I can talk about it more if you have questions, that when you are deciding on if you want your DNA results returned to you, you can always say yes, no, or unsure, and you can change your decision at any time. So even if you would like to donate a blood sample to help researchers better understand health, but you're not sure if you want those DNA results back, that choice is up to you. And if you do would like your DNA results back, we would also connect you with a genetic counselor to help you interpret the health-related results. Step 5 is to answer health surveys. And so these include questions about your lifestyle and your environment. And then step 6 is to complete an in-person visit at one of our clinics. And this involves donating a blood and urine sample and having some physical measurements taken. So after completing all 6 steps, participants do receive a $25 gift card for their compensation for their time and effort to join the study. So our clinic locations here for anyone in Orange County would be the University of California Irvine Medical Center in Orange. And we're also open at the Gottschalk Medical Plaza on the UCI campus in Irvine. So we do have plans to open more clinics in the coming months here around Orange County. And we would update our website when those clinics are open. So for those of you who are joining from other parts of California, we are a part of the California Precision Medicine Consortium. So our partners are UC San Diego, UC Davis, UC San Francisco, Cedars-Sinai, and USC. And so we would be happy to connect you with any of those partners if you're listening now, but you're not in Orange County and you live close to any of those other sites. We do all work together as a part of the All of Us California team. So again, if you get in touch with us and would like to be connected to another partner, we'd be happy to do so. Okay, and I also wanted to spend a little bit of time talking about the research that All of Us is doing. So when I mentioned that this is one of the largest, most diverse research databases ever collected, a lot of that is thank you to the participants who are joining health and donating health information. And we also rely on researchers to access this database to conduct research studies. So instead of thinking of All of Us as one research study in the traditional sense, you should think of it as a resource for many research studies. The main way to view the research going on is through the Research Hub website. So that is that website listed there at the top of the screen, researchallofus.org. So I'll review a little bit about the tiered access to data. So the Research Hub really is composed of 2 parts. There's a public section, and then there's a more restricted access section for approved researchers. So the public session section is the first 3 bullet points you see here, the data snapshots, data browser, and the survey explorer. So the data snapshots, they feature really key statistics about the cohort. So the cohort means it's all of our participants who have signed up so far. The data browser is more of an interactive tool, and it allows visitors to explore aggregate data about the surveys, electronic records, and physical measurements. And then we also have the Survey Explorer. So you can see the full survey text and all the options, and you can see the source information that all of us is pulling these surveys from. So there also is a Researcher Workbench. So for the researchers on the line, this really is a restricted cloud-based platform, and it's designed to execute really rapid hypothesis-driven research. So these researchers do go through an approval process, and we would really be happy to connect any researchers and let them know the steps that it takes to get involved in using the Researcher Workbench. So to give a little bit more information about the data browser is open to all of us to use at any point. So again, it's the public part of the Research Hub. It is an interactive tool, and it was launched May 6th in 2019. So we still are making some changes, making it more usable. Appreciate any feedback you researchers might have on the website. It provides like a summary statistics from the program's growing database. So you can see a screenshot here. That's a photo of typically how it would look, and different tiles you can click around. So you can see what's shown here is the EHR domain. That means electronic health records. So that's the health history that participants share. So you can see different medicines, exposures, treatments, procedures. And then you can see survey questions here. So you see these 1, 2, 3, 4, these 6 tiles here. Those are all different survey responses. And then down at the bottom, you can see physical measurements. So those are the measurements that our participants have taken in the clinics. So this is open to everyone, and you don't need to create a login. And it really helps you kind of navigate who is a part of our cohort. It allows researchers to understand the characteristics, so you can look at population, explore different data types. So currently, there is no, so the data browser does not allow you to cross-tab any specific data elements with race or ethnicity. So this is due to feedback that the All of Us team received, and is part of our effort to prevent All of Us from being used for any stigmatizing research. So this could change in the future, but it's based on input and guidance from our diverse communities. Another thing I really wanted to stress is that there is no individual level data on the data browser. So this is to protect participant privacy, so you can really only look at data as a group. So there's no way that anyone, browsing the data here could identify any particular participant. So you can get through the Research All of Us website, but the databrowser.researchallofus.org is the direct way to reach the website. So now to talk a little bit about the Researcher Workbench. So again, this is the restricted access to the database where researchers do have to go through an approval process. It's very hypothesis driven, so you can look at physical measurements, survey data, and some electronic health record information, and much more to come, like genomic data and digital health technology. Here, researchers can build their own cohorts, and they can build a data set and use it to fine tune for analysis, publishing research studies. There are a lot of resources to help researchers use this. We have FAQs, sample notebooks, workspaces, documentation, and a help desk. For any researchers who are on this event now, if you are interested, definitely get in touch with us, and we can let you know the steps to get involved, what the application process is like, and we can also work with you, mentor you to help you with your research project. And we really do encourage researchers from broad backgrounds, different ethnicities, socioeconomic status, researchers of all types. We really encourage you to get involved and to access this data. Next slide. So our contact information is here. So our UCI specific website is allofus.health.uci.edu. You can also call us at 949-824-0282 and speak to one of our research coordinators, or we'll call you back if you leave a message. Feel free to email us at allofus@uci.edu, and you can follow us on Instagram. Also, this QR code here, you can hold your camera up to the computer screen, scan the QR code, and it'll take you directly to our website. And I also wanted to announce that UC Irvine, we just recently launched a monthly webinar series. And so our next webinar that we plan will be about genetics in the All of Us research program. And so this is kind of like a save the date, and then we do have the link to register. So it will be Wednesday, May 26th at 12 p.m. And this is Pacific time. We are hoping to make it the same time every month. You can scan this QR code and that will take you directly to the registration page. So if you are interested in learning more about the genetic components of the All of Us research program, please join. We'll have a guest speaker, and then the All of Us research program will dive a little bit more into how we are analyzing DNA, returning results to participants, and all that good stuff. So on behalf of the All of Us research program here at UCI and all their hard-working research coordinators behind us here in Irvine, we thank you for joining this event. And thank you for tuning in to learn more about All of Us and citizen science. And I'm happy to answer any questions about the program. So thank you. And we do have a live poll.
Yes, we're trying a new experiment, everybody. We love experiments. We want to know, what do you want to hear more about? And that's one reason we left ample time for Q&A. So thank you so much, Erin, for answering that, for giving us such a great presentation and overview about the amazing work you all do at All of Us. So everyone, if there are particular topics you want to hear more about, I know Erin and the rest of the team, the All of Us folks who are on the line, are eager to answer questions and elaborate on things. So you can put specific questions in the chat, and you can also vote on the things you want me to ask questions about. So get those votes in. Oh my goodness, we have 15 folks, so 80% of the people who have voted so far want to know more about the DNA analysis. So Erin, could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure. So when you join the All of Us research program, one of the final steps is coming to our clinic to donate a blood and urine sample. So with the blood sample that we do take, we send it to the Mayo Clinic, and the All of Us research program does an analysis on the DNA of participants who join. So some of the things that we're looking at are how our body responds to different medicines and drugs based on our certain genes we have. The All of Us research program is also looking at certain, I would say, like gene markers for common diseases. Sorry, there's a little feedback. Common diseases we have called the ACMG59. So it's the 59 genes that researchers can associate with a specific disease that does have treatment options. So we're thinking, or think of like the BRCA gene for breast cancer. Other parts of our DNA that All of Us is looking at are things like ancestry and traits. So when you join the All of Us research program and you're donating your DNA information to help researchers better understand the role that our genes play in health, we are also offering the results back to you as a participant as a return of value and as a thank you for joining. So the first results that you would get back would be about your ancestry and some traits. So it could be your sensitivity to lactose. It could be the type of earwax you have, your preference for cilantro, things like that, as well as where your ancestors may or may have lived. So in order to get any of these results back, you first need to donate a blood sample, and second, and most importantly, is you need to let the All of Us research program know if you want your results back. So some people may not want the results, or they want to think about it, and so that's definitely up to you. If you choose yes, you do want your results back once your health-related results are ready. So again, that's things like how your body responds to different drugs and medicine, and the 59 genes that scientists have identified so far that lead to treatable disease. We will connect participants with a genetic counselor. So it will most likely be an appointment over the phone, but they will help you interpret the results. Again, this will be in English and in Spanish. And it is a lot of people are a little concerned about getting their results back. So again, we just always want to stress that it is your choice and you can change your mind at any time. One last important note is that the return of these DNA results is an individualized timeline. So there's no set date that we would tell you when your results are ready and will be returned. And some participants might get some results earlier than others. It really just depends on, when you donated the blood sample, when you signed the consent to get your results back, and then when your samples are in queue for analysis. So if you have already joined the program and you have already signed the DNA consent, so now you're just waiting for your results, I would suggest making sure that your contact information is up to date. So you can go to the joinallofus.org website, log in, make sure that we have your correct email and phone number. You can also download the app on your smartphone, so it's Android and iPhone, and you will be getting an email notifications that your results are ready. So just make sure that all of that is up to date, because once your results are ready, we will try to get in touch with you to let you know. And if you have gotten that notification and you're unsure how to get into your participant portal to view the results, please call us. One of our research coordinators can help you access your account and help you get to those results.
That's awesome. And we have a really good question in the chat. Someone said, I'm not in California, but I'm in the All of Us program in Pennsylvania, and I'm part of SciStarter. Can I connect SciStarter to All of Us in Pennsylvania, and how is the California program connected to programs in other states? I'll take the first half of that question. I actually did an event earlier this month with All of Us Pennsylvania. They were awesome. We partnered with a library up there in Pennsylvania, and we honed in on the Sourdough for Science project. So we talked about how you can help researchers study microbes in sourdough bread. That was the first half of the webinar, kind of similar to what we did with this one. And then they did a presentation about All of Us in Pennsylvania. And that recording is actually available on SciStarter's YouTube channel if you want to check it out for our Pennsylvanian who's on the line. But then for the second half of that question, I'd love to pass it to Aaron or Linda about how the California program is connected to programs in other states. How do you all do kind of like national collaboration between all the different All of Us's?
Yeah, that's a great question. We do all meet virtually on a regular basis. So our California team, about once a month, we'll meet with the different All of Us's all throughout the country. So we're spread throughout the whole US, and we definitely collaborate on different projects. We share ideas. We also cross promote. So, this person in Pennsylvania, your website there, I believe, would be joinallofuspa.org. So that's how you would kind of, stay involved with what's going on with your Pennsylvania team. And the participant experience, it pretty much is the same across the country. All of the participants take the same surveys. They donate the same amount of blood and urine samples. And our research coordinators are all trained with, the same information, the same FAQ. So we do try to make sure that a participant living in Pennsylvania and a participant in California gets the same quality experience of the program. But of course, you have that personal touch of your own, research coordinators on the ground and principal investigators there with, hosting different types of events and different types of community engagement opportunities that are more local to our communities here. So for example, Teresa here is our engagement lead for California. So when we think of how we want to interact with our diverse communities here in California, we might have different strategies and ideas than the Pennsylvania team, because they may have, their community might have different needs. So I would say that's probably the biggest difference, is our engagement in events.
That's an awesome answer. Yeah. So wherever you happen to be in the States, definitely get involved in All of Us at joinallofus.org. You can go to the specific website for your state, California, or the Pennsylvania, or wherever you happen to be. And I know for folks who are in the Irvine area, the link is in the chat for you to get involved with the UCI All of Us. So we have a follow-up question. This one's from Elizabeth. She wants to know, what is the extent of DNA results that will be given and what topics will be covered?
Yeah, so with the DNA analysis, it is, we could think of it as ancestry and traits. That's kind of like the first type of DNA results you'll get back. So it will be, lactose intolerance, cilantro preference. So it's kind of more like recreational type results, and also ancestry results. So if you think of some of the other popular ancestry DNA companies out there, it's not too dissimilar from that. You'll get information about different countries, ethnicity, and it all comes with a little bit of education too. So we don't just, give you your results, printed on an Excel file, but rather we have designed, graphics, information, and there's also ways for you to give feedback on if you thought the information was useful, understandable. The second tier of DNA results is health related. So again, that's looking at how your body reacts to different medicines and drugs, and how if you have genes in your genome where scientists have found that they are related to certain diseases that are treatable or have preventative measures. So we would give you back, for example, with the health-related results, we would pair you with a genetic counselor to help you understand the risks associated with these results, help you understand what this means exactly. It's not like, here are your results on a spreadsheet with no further information. We really try to help you understand. And it's not a genetic test per se. So this isn't this isn't something that you should take as something your doctor would administer and make treatment decisions. Even though we are giving you back these health-related results, you do still need to go to your doctor and follow up. You can let them know about your involvement in the All of Us research study, but it is not treatment, and it's not medical advice. So the results can be informative, and they can definitely guide your conversation with your physician. But just want to stress that it isn't advice or treatment or quote unquote genetic testing.
Yeah, that's a really important distinction. We have a question now that's more on the researcher side. So Gordon wants to know, when will the 1 million DNA results, the whole genome sequencing, be available to researchers?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't have the answer now, but we could definitely get back to you, Gordon. So I know that the All of Us research program is up to about maybe 360,000, I think, participants. So we haven't reached 1 million yet. As far as when the genomic results will be available, right now that it is, more to come. I don't believe they're available now, but I couldn't give you an exact date. If Teresa happens to know that there is a date, you could chime in. Otherwise, we would be happy to let you know when you can expect that.
And the best way for Gordon to stay in the loop would just be, signing up on the UC Irvine website, right, for any updates and following you all on social media.
Yeah, definitely. Social media and our Genetic Epidemiology Research Institute, our GERI site, we have come up with a researcher newsletter, so we could also add you to that newsletter. And that would be a good way to learn more about any updates for the Researcher Workbench.
Awesome. And I shared the results of our little poll after the DNA analysis, which was the clear thing folks wanted to learn more about. And thank you so much, Aaron, for educating us about that. The next runner-up was surveys. People want to know a little bit more about the surveys. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah. So the type of survey questions that we ask every participant, it's the same surveys, like I said, for everyone in the whole consortium. And you choose whether or not you would like to answer the question. You could skip any question you like, but they typically ask you questions about any disabilities you might have, access to healthcare. We would also ask you about drug, alcohol, and tobacco use, your history of that type of use. There's also a chance to tell us a little bit about who you are. So we ask you questions about your ethnicity, race, age, income, all that kind of stuff that helps paint a picture of how maybe where you live, how you grew up, how that all kind of affects your health. More surveys have been released to people who've been in the program for a while. You might already know about them, but they are about your family health history and your personal health history. So this is where you can let all of us know if you maybe have something that runs in the family. You can even type in like age of onset or who in your family might have suffered. So we're not asking for names or anything like that, but rather, this runs on my mother's side of the family, or I have siblings with this. So that way we can try our best to figure out kind of like the whole picture of health. And it also helps researchers understand that all of us are unique. We have these different aspects in our life that affect our health. So these survey questions are a chance to help paint that unique picture.
Awesome. And then after that, it looks like folks wanted to know about the Research Hub and the data browser. And I actually had a question about the data browser and the Research Hub. So at SciStarter, I'll sometimes see citizen scientists, so people who may not have even finished high school, are just people without any sort of research background doing really interesting things with scientific data. So I was wondering if you could speak to how, lay people, our citizen scientists, could potentially make use of the Research Hub or the data browser.
Yeah, that's a great question. We are hoping to have a webinar event. We're planning it right now where we can demonstrate the Research Hub and the Researcher Workbench. Because I think it's important to show people all the possibilities. So if you kind of are curious or have a question, it's just an open tool for you to explore. You can look at maybe different conditions that our participants have based on their health history and the electronic health record. You can even look at the survey responses where people have identified so not too many demographic information, but definitely the health information. Like I said, our surveys ask questions about alcohol, tobacco, and drug use. So you can definitely look at these different aspects. And I would really just recommend getting on the researchallofus.org website and start clicking around. If you're finding that you want to ask questions directly to us, how to use it, you can always reach out and we can show you some tricks, show you how to navigate. And then follow us on social media so you can see the announcement once we do plan our webinar that really is going to be focused solely on the Research Hub and the Researcher Workbench, getting researchers involved and doing demos.
Awesome stuff. I know we only have 2 minutes left, so if any audience members have any last burning questions, get those in the Q&A box or the chat. I just wanted to share, Terry Lee said, I am an All of Us participant and I have received my DNA results. It was easy to access. So for those of you who are considering getting involved, Terry Lee Wayne had a great experience. So I hope that you all have a great experience as well. I wanted to ask Aaron and the rest of the team on the line, are there any last things you want to share in our last minute that you haven't had a chance to share yet?
No, I think this was good. Thank you everyone for participating in the poll. I'm glad I got to expand on some of the burning questions you had, or go into more details. We really would be happy to work with anyone. If you have any questions, or if you'd like to get involved with all of us in any capacity as a participant, as a researcher, if you want to promote the program in your community, please email us at allofus@uci.edu. Please call us, follow us on Instagram, or send us a message there. We'd be happy to get in touch with you.
Awesome stuff. And for those of you who are hungry for more, we have one more event in the All of Us California Citizen Science Month series this Friday with UCSF. And for those of you, I see some repeat names on here, which is great. For those of you who have attended these events before, you know that every team puts their own little unique spin on it. which is really cool. You get to hear from different voices doing this impactful research and this impactful work. And I feature different citizen science projects each time and give different context each time. So definitely come back and join us again on Friday. And you can find that event on scistarter.org/calendar. But that being said, I really hope that you all sign up for all of us. I'm going to put the link in the chat to UCI's website. And I know they also have another really cool webinar coming up in May. So I'm putting the link to that webinar as well. And that being said, I think we covered everything. So thank you to Erin, to Linda, to Teresa, and to the whole All of Us California team. I hope you have a great rest of your Wednesday.
Thank you. You too, everyone. Bye.
Let me show my slide really quick so we can get the last slide and hold it up as people exit. That's the URL, allofus.health.uci.edu. We got the email there. We got the phone number. We got the Instagram. And of course, QR codes. I love that QR codes are in again. I've had a lot of fun holding my phone up and scanning it. So I encourage you all to do that as well. Thank you again, Erin. Thank you, Linda. I'm going to close up shop here if I don't see any last questions in the chat.
Thank you so much, Caroline, and to the SciStarter and Citizen Science Month.